Title: When I first met my wife's parents for the first time, her mother doused me with wine and sneered. That's to cleanse a pauper. My daughter's monthly costs are $140,000. Think you can match that? My wife giggled, so I grinned and declared, I'm severing all ties with your corporation. Chapter 1. The splash of conceit asterisk. The server had just placed the wine goblets on the table when the first barb struck, quite literally. Crimson wine, rich and costly, splattered across my face and suit. For a brief moment, the dining room went quiet. Every gaze shifted to the impeccably dressed woman opposite me, my wife's mother. She smirked, lowering her glass with theatrical poise, and said, That's to cleanse a pauper. My daughter's monthly costs are $140,000. Think you can match that? The wine burned my eyes, but not as much as what followed. My wife Emma didn't leap to my defense or express dismay. Instead, she chuckled, a cold, empty sound that didn't resemble the woman I'd vowed to love. She even quipped, Oh, Mom, you're awful, as if this were some private jest I was too lowly to grasp. Something inside me broke. I didn't shout or strike back. I simply grabbed my napkin, dabbed my face, and flashed a faint smile. Then I locked eyes with her father, Richard Warrington, the head of one of the largest supply chain firms on the eastern seaboard, and said in a cool, measured tone, Mr. Warrington, I'm ending all agreements with Warrington Enterprises, effective immediately. He blinked. Pardon me? I'm the sole director of Ashwood Logistics, your main distributor. You ridicule me as poor, yet I've managed the transport and handling of your goods for 6 years. As of tomorrow, I'll redirect our resources and halt all deliveries. Emma coughed on her wine. Her father's face drained of color, but I wasn't finished. I rose slowly, pulled out my phone, and with a few swift taps, sent a termination notice to our legal and logistics teams. Consider your warehouses cut off and your supply chain stalled until you secure a new partner. Good luck finding someone who matches my rates, especially during the holiday rush. Then I turned to Emma, and for the first time in our marriage, I saw a stranger. I overlooked the red flags, but tonight, thank you for the clarity. I buttoned my coat, tossed a few bills on the table, not for them, but for the waiter, and walked out. I didn't need to raise my voice. My retaliation had already begun. Chapter 2, The Dawn of Retribution. The morning light flooded my upscale apartment like a beacon. Sleep eluded me, not from heartbreak, but from strategy. I'd spent the night with my legal advisors, each moment a deliberate step on a chessboard Emma never knew she was playing on. By 7 a.m., my phone vibrated fiercely on the kitchen counter. Caller ID, Richard Warrington. I let it ring, a barrage of texts followed. Richard, let's talk sense. Richard, this impacts thousands of jobs. Richard, don't make this personal. Richard, we can renegotiate better terms. I sipped my dark coffee and responded with one line. It became personal when your wife doused me with wine and called me a pauper. Seconds later, the phone rang again. Emma this time. I picked up. Why are you doing this? She demanded, her voice quivering. Why did you laugh? I asked icily. Silence. Then you humiliated my family. No, Emma, I said evenly. Your family humiliated themselves, and you joined them. You mocked the man who built the life you parade. She tried to play the victim. It was a jest. You know how Mom is. She's venomous. But I expected more from you. I sacrificed everything for our future, and you repaid me with scorn in front of strangers. She faltered. We need to discuss this. There's nothing to discuss. Oh, and your apartment lease expires next week. It's in my name. I canceled it this morning. Her voice broke. What? You're evicting me? No, I said with a faint smirk. I'm granting you the freedom you seem to crave at dinner. I hung up. That afternoon, the business news erupted. Warrington Enterprises supply chain halts overnight after contract termination. CEO scrambles for solutions as stocks slide. They had no backup logistics provider. Worse, the holiday season loomed, and delays spelled millions in losses. While they floundered, I was already in discreet talks with Warrington's top rival, Langston Worldwide, offering them premium services at a modest discount, enough to cripple Warrington's fragile empire. And that was only the start. Chapter 3. The downfall accelerates. 3 days post-confrontation, Warrington Enterprises was spiraling. Major retail clients began withdrawing contracts, fearing unmet holiday demand. Richard's cost-saving tactics now hemorrhaged millions hourly. Warehouses overflowed, trucks stood idle. Delays turned into cancellations. Meanwhile, Langston Worldwide, my new allies, issued a statement. Langston secures nationwide logistics growth through strategic partnership. The industry understood. Richard Warrington was done, but I wasn't. On Friday, a moving truck arrived at Emma's lavish condo. She stepped out in designer stilettos and a silk robe, horrified to see a crowd gathering, watching movers pack boxes labeled property of Michael Ashwood. She rushed to the driver. "You can't do this, I live here." He handed her a clipboard. "Ma'am, your name isn't on the lease. Orders are to clear everything by noon." As tabloid cameras flashed, someone had tipped them off. She spotted me across the street, arms crossed, composed as ever. She stormed over. "Did you call the press?" "No," I said, "but I'm not shocked they showed up. After all, your mother claimed you're worth $140,000 a month. Pity you can't afford a hotel now." "Michael, please," she softened. "We've shared so much." I raised an eyebrow. "Remember what you said at dinner?" She hesitated. "It was a joke, you laughed. And your mother treated me like garbage. Now you get to know how that feels." I handed her a crimson envelope. Inside, a divorce filing notice, a waiver of spousal support, and a summary of our airtight prenup, already enforced. "You'll hear from my attorney Monday," I said. "And one last thing, don't reach out again. You're no longer part of my plans." That weekend, a business journal headlined, "From Ridicule to Tycoon. How Michael Ashwood Toppled Warrington Enterprises in Days." Online comments exploded with support. Hundreds of professionals, once belittled or mistreated, reached out, some to thank me, others to collaborate. Emma. She vanished from the spotlight. Her mother was photographed trying to enter Warrington's headquarters. Security barred her. Richard's board suspended him pending a probe. My silent vengeance had become a public reckoning. Chapter 4, One Final Desperate Move * 3 weeks passed quietly. The world moved past the Warrington collapse, but Emma didn't. She tried calling, emailing, even sending handwritten notes. I ignored them all. I didn't need closure. I'd already built something greater. Then came her last play. On a Thursday morning, my assistant buzzed me. "Mr. Ashwood, someone's here insisting on seeing you. Says it's urgent." I sighed. "Name, Emma Warrington." I stared at the speaker. "Tell her she's already inside." I turned as Emma burst through the door. This wasn't the poised woman I'd known. Her makeup was smeared, her designer coat creased. She looked frantic. "Michael," she gasped, breathless. "Please, just 5 minutes." I leaned back. "You have 2. Her voice broke. "I messed up. I let my mother sway me. I thought I could trade up, find someone who fit her vision of me. I was wrong." "Was that before or after you drained my accounts?" I asked flatly. Her lips quivered. "I didn't expect you to cut ties with Warrington. When you did, everything fell apart. Richard's gone. The house is gone. My mother fled to Italy, and me, I have nothing." I crossed my arms. "So now you want me back?" She nodded. "I don't deserve it, but I realized too late you were the only one who valued me for me, not my wealth, not my image." I stared, then walked to the sideboard. She watched, hope flickering. I set a folder on the table. "This is my best offer." She opened it. A contact waiver, a restraining order draft, and a bill for damages she'd caused my new firm. Breach of NDA, property damage, and fraud. "I told you not to contact me," I said coldly. "You had your luxury, your better match, your perfect image. You spat on our life, now you get what you wanted." Her knees gave out. She collapsed into the chair, trembling. "Security will show you out. Come back and I file the order." As guards arrived, she tried one last plea. "Michael, I still love you." I met her gaze with cold silence. "No, Emma, you loved power, you loved wealth. Love is earned and you discarded it." They let her out. As the door closed, I returned to my desk. The city skyline gleamed outside. A text pinged from a colleague. "Lunch at 1. Tokyo investors are thrilled." I replied, "One works. Let's discuss growth." Epilogue: Emma Warrington now resides in a modest flat on the city's edge, juggling 2 jobs. The friends who egged her on at that fateful dinner, gone when the money dried up. Warrington Enterprises filed for bankruptcy. Michael Ashwood, once a silent operator, now helms one of the nation's fastest-growing logistics empires. The takeaway: never underestimate the quiet ones, especially not those you scorn at the table. Because one day they might own it. Was this retribution fair? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like the story if you believe this justice was deserved. Share it with someone who needs this vibe. And subscribe to Lauren's Tales for more gripping stories of betrayal and reckoning. Here, every deception meets its consequence, and every slight finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay bold, and stay tuned.